one of the tricks that they like to pull, and which is one of the reasons why I suspect, especially for us, that they're using children so heavily, is that during the times that these perpetrators are basically trafficking their children to engage in sexually suggestive behaviors. They would even dress in a sexually suggestive way. One of the things that they do is they get you to observe this, and when you have a link, a brain to computer interface, they actually have a system that's called the thought and memory interface. The thought and memory interface system is basically a chatterbox that Dr. Robert Duncan talks about in his book Project Soul Catcher. And it basically is to get you talking, right? It will implant a thought into your head, and it will interrogate you on it. One instance of this happening was me and my fiance were sitting in Tim Hortons, and there was a guy next to us, and he was obviously a perpetrator. They love to, like, everybody around us, they place in the immediate surroundings is basically a perpetrator, either to engage in some kind of directed conversation or some kind of skit. And the guy next to us, he had what looked like his daughter. She was quite young, and he was, a lot older, and they had a computer there, a laptop, and she kept glancing over at me, and I was really, really confused. I looked at her, and she was kind of smiling at me, what I would say is inappropriate for somebody her age, and especially somebody my age. But she was smiling at me, and it wasn't, it was very off. And what, I would observe what she's doing, and just the mere fact that you're observing what she's doing, this thought and memory interface, what Dr. Robert Duncan calls TAMI, it's abbreviated as TAMI. And again, if you don't know Dr. Robert Duncan, he's one of the people who have actually worked with the CIA to develop these systems. He created a beast. He created a monster. He helped to do it. And this is what it does. It will interrogate you, basically putting a thought in your head about what you're doing, what kind of behavior you're doing, or what it wants you to think that you're doing, and it will interrogate you on it, right? It's almost like an inner voice, but it's not. It's not, of you, especially if you've just gotten onto the program, and you can tell the difference between your own inner thinking, your own inner voice, and something that's foreign, and that comes from something else. And that's something that I experienced a couple of days ago. And I just thought I would, I made a comment about that to somebody who commented on one of my videos about the trafficking of children involved in this program. A lot of TIs, I find, a lot of them are targeted in a similar way, with the use of children, and even in their own voice to skull. My fiance included, not me, however. They would basically call you a pedophile, and everything like that. But it's widely reported. A lot of TIs get that, and it's very it's very insidious to use that kind of tactic, and to use your children or your grandchildren in that kind of way. I mean, the children don't know what's going on. They can't know, and you know, a lot of the times I think the parents themselves don't know. Um, they certainly don't know the intricacies of the program and why they're doing what they're doing or who they're doing it to. That's not important. What's important is that they get their gift card and they feel like they're doing some kind of service to the community, to their country, and but there's a lot of information on that, and I just want to say also, like, if you're getting your information about this program, gang stalking, from the internet, from Google, you're looking in all the wrong places. YouTube itself, the algorithms are set in such a way that you won't find any kind of good information on what this program is all about. They usually have their paid doctors in there, you know, like I've said before, and the same is true with COVID. Their science, so called, that you know, that explains away this phenomenon of gang stalking, which is exploding. It's exploding all over the world, and even still, they're saying that it is nothing more than a mass delusion, that it's mass psychosis. So, which it doesn't exist. Mass psychosis does not exist, and especially with regards to this, it's a real thing. And I suggest if you want to find out more information on this kind of thing, then I would definitely look into the work of Dr. Robert Duncan. Dr. Hall is also a good person to explore when you're trying to get information on this. Not just you know, hit pieces. You're just gonna find nothing on Google. On Google, you're gonna find nothing but you know, a hit piece on it, and how the people that are suffering through a very real thing, how they're all crazy and that we're all delusional. And that is definitely not the case. I mean, I am nearly 40 years old. I've never been diagnosed with any kind of mental illness in my life. And, you know, this is not what happens to somebody who's approaching middle age. And most psychiatrists will agree with that. Even the ones who, you know, are biased or are paid to be biased, they will 9 times out of 10 concede that it is very unusual for somebody to develop you know, schizoaffective disorder or schizophrenia or, you know, things like that late in life. It's usually established very early on. Anyway, this video is actually about the thought and memory interface, which is abbreviated as TAMI, by Dr. Robert Duncan himself. So that's all I wanted to say. This video has actually gone on longer than I wanted it to, but take care. God bless.